Hello. So God kind of brought something to my attention while I was doing my Bible study this morning about who we are and what He's called us to be. And so we all have heard this many times, I'm sure, that we are the body of Christ, and that is definitely true. And in Romans 12, it actually says that just like the body has many parts, so the body of Christ has many parts, each with different functions. So, as the body of Christ, we all have different roles to play that we need to fulfill in order to fully represent Christ. So, if we are an apostle, then we need to fulfill that role to fully represent who Christ is. If we don't fulfill our role, then somebody else has to try to make up that deficit. And if they're not a apostle as well, then the deficit kind of doesn't seem to come out right. And the best way to explain this is in the actual human body. If somebody cannot hear at all, they're completely deaf, they will never be able to actually hear sound correctly, but that doesn't mean that they can't compensate for their lack of sound. They can see still. They can see that somebody making a face as though they're yelling means that is more important than if it was just a regular talk. They can feel trembling in the ground if, something, big trucks coming down the road or something like that. Even though they can't hear the truck, they can feel the vibration of it. And in the same way, if we don't fulfill our job as a part of the body of Christ, and somebody else has to do our job that they were not equipped to do, then it may not be as good as if someone with the gift had done it. So with that, I just wanted to kind of challenge us to fulfill what God has called us to do, and to bring people into our lives that are things that we're not. I use the apostle example on purpose because God has called me specifically with an apostolic gift, but I also know that He has not called me with an evangelistic gift. That doesn't mean that I can't evangelize. That just means that I am not as equipped as an evangelist is to do it at every turn. So with that said, I would like to be able to surround myself with other people that are evangelists, so that it actually builds up our relationship because they are strong in an area in which I am weak in. So I just wanted to challenge you with that, and then I also just kind of had a question for you. What are your gifts? What are the things that you are definitely gifted by God to do? And then what are things that you're not gifted to do? And how can you bring people into your sphere of influence because they don't necessarily do the same thing that you do? So anyway, you can leave those down in the comments below. Also, this is kind of like my first kind of thing for YouTube that I'm kind of trying to do more regularly. So if you could like the video, share it with other people, leave comments. I like to respond to them. So by all means, do all that. And God bless. And I will talk to you later.